Have you had a similar situation with your children?
Well, I have one, and he's just a little 2-year-old, but a lot of times I have my agenda for the day. I want to get my laundry done, and I know at the end of the day if I get these certain things done, I'm going to feel good about what I've done. And he's tugging at my leg saying, Mommy, park, park, Mommy, park. And I'm thinking, well, I have a choice here. I can either keep on going with what I need to do or take him to the park. And sometimes I do one and sometimes the other, but I know when I choose to go to the park with him, I'm saying, you're more important than all these things that I, as a busy mom, would like to get done for the day.
Taking that time to be available. Have you had a similar situation?
Sure have. When I grew up as a child, I love sports, and I grew out of a single-parent family. And my mom really didn't make many of my games. And that was a great disappointment, but I didn't know how to express that to her, that I really wanted her to be there. My 2 oldest girls play softball now, and I've made that a priority, that I will be there as much as possible. And if I can't be there, I'm going to take the time to explain to them why I can't be there.
And that says to your children, you are important. I heard you talking over here.
I always do. I'm from a dysfunctional family, and it's hard for me to understand availability and acceptance because I didn't see a lot of it. But through God's model, through my husband, and from a neat family, He's allowed me, through your example, to, so thank you. Through Steve's example, I've been able to see a lot more of how to be available and love and accept our children.
It's a big commitment and a very selfless thing to do for a parent, and we struggle with it all the time, but constantly talk about it, pray about it, work through it. I try and spend more time with the kids for at least an hour before I go to work every morning, but the more important time I find is when I get home at night. On my way driving home, I try and get my work done in my mind to get it shut off, so when I hit the door, and with God's help, I can get into their world, and I can spend because we have 4. And it takes a while to get through all 4, to find out what really happened in their day and what was really important and what's critical. But you just see their eyes just sparkle when you commit that time, and they can tell you're really listening. And it makes a big impact on their life.
And it says, Dick, to that child, I am important. I have 4 children. They're now 16, 14, 10, and 4. And when my son was about 2.5 years old, I was in studying. I was right in the center of a book writing, and he came in. I said, son, a little later, I'm right in the center of a chapter. Pretty soon, my wife came in, and Dottie nailed me. She says, honey, I know you're busy, but you got to realize you're always going to have contracts. You're always going to have deadlines. Your whole life, you're going to be writing and have to do things. But you're not always going to have a 2-year-old son who wants to sit in your lap and ask you a question. Oh, ladies, that was like a knife cutting to the core. And I learned something then, that my children must come before my contracts and everything else, and that they must be first. Now, even understanding with a lot of the publishers that my family and my children must come first. Because what I was saying to that child is my book is more important than you. And I had to learn a very, very difficult lesson there. And recently I was in the center of writing a children's book. And you were with me, Dick, you and Charlotte. We were down in Mexico, and I was on a roll in flowing, and my daughter came in and said, Daddy, she's 16, would you take me down and get my nails done? Man, that's the last thing I needed. And all of a sudden I said, Josh, practice what you preach. And I could have said, okay, look, I'll go. I might as well give her the money for the taxi cab and not gone then. And I said, God, give me that joyful spirit. And I said, honey, let's go together. I folded everything up and with joy went with her. Oh, she has thanked me 3 or 4 times since then. Because what I said to her, honey, you are important. So with acceptance, we say you are important, you are tremendous worth. And then we express that acceptance through availability. And when we are available to our children, it says to our children, you are important. And if they feel important to us, they will feel important to their Heavenly Father. Because men, each one of us model God the Father to our children.